What's up, guys? It's Carson back here on Toxic Gaming today. And guys, today we have our week 5? I think this is week 5 of the PPL Pokemon Premier League D2 Season 2 or Season 5, whatever. Pokemon D2, you know that shit. Yeah, this is week 4, not week 5. I was wrong. But we're going up against Blue Rogue, aka coach of the AFC Wormadams, and basically the Jenner for every team I've ever done. Rogue's that type of friend to be able to gen and everything for a lot of us in the PPL and a lot of people in general. So shout out to him for all the hard work he does for the leagues that he's in and everything. Again, I'm not going to go into quick detail over the team. There will be a Pokepaste in the description for the exact IVs and everything like that, and everything on the Mons. But just a quick overview of the Mons he could have had on his team as full draft. He had Mew, Kieran Black, a Z-User, Mega Scizor, Tapu Fini, Hawlucha, Gourgeist, Miltank, Skuntank, Rhydon, Moltres, another Z-User, and Electrode. And as you can see, he brought the Skuntank, the Gourgeist, the Kieran Black, the Mega Scizor, the Tapu Fini, and the Moltres. So I was more scared of him having Mew and Hawlucha and Miltank on against us, because those three, like, I feel like I didn't have much to deal with those. Like, Mew would just be having to wear it down, and Miltank was super annoying, I felt, for us to try to deal with, and I'm really glad I wasn't here. But our team is consistent of Latias, which is a Cobra Berry, Latias, and everything like that. Kind of a Cobra Berry offensive Latias. This one's kind of built so that Draco Thunderbolt in his HP Fire will take out or take on anything on his team with at least neutral damage. And it is Hyper Trained so that I have max speed and stuff like that as well. Then we had Rotom being a defensive Rotom, like fully defensive Rotom, with Volt Switch, Hydro, Pain Split, and Will-O-Wisp. If I could get Willows on things, it would be really nice, but if I could pull Pain Splits onto, say, a Kieran Black switching in, onto, you know, a Moltres coming in for some reason, or, like, onto Mega Scizor, stuff like that, just pull the HP from those type of mons to heal up Rotom while they have more reliable recovery and Rotom doesn't. If I can use that to my advantage, that'd be really nice. Then I have our Lando T with Z-Fly Lando T this week. A little bit of bulk, speed creeping, I think, so that we outspeed any Tapu Fini that he wants. I want to see Scarf Fini. But we're going Earthquake, Fly, U-Turn, and Swords Dance. Basically a straight Swords Dance setup. Pretty standard Lando that could do a lot of damage to teams and U-turning around in the early game. Mega Kang this week is kind of speedy, basically outspeeding everything I think that was on his team, besides not named Hawlucha and Electrode. No, we were not speed tying with Mew. We were outspeeding everything Kieran Black at 95 or lower. So we have Return, Fire Punch, Drain Punch, and Substitute. Substitute Mega Kang this week because it seemed like once I got behind a sub, I could dish out a lot of damage, and Drain Punch plus Fire Punch covered a lot of the options he would want to switch into Mega Kang with. So that's what I was hoping to have a good session for Mega Kang. Then we have Feral Thorn, which is Akaberry, just because of his team had a lot of options for hidden power fires to pop in. So we have Iron Head, Knockoff, Stealth Rock, and Thunder Wave. I was more worried to have Thunder Wave for like on Hawlucha to paralyze Mew kind of, and I know it would probably paralyze Feral Thorn back, but I don't care if I'm slower, it didn't matter. But it was just kind of there. And then Iron Head, Knockoff just as basic moves. Then we had, again, Reginald or Scarf Chandelure, who put in work last week against David. He's coming back with Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, HP Fighting, and Trick. The HP Fighting is kind of weird, but it was like I felt I needed something to hit Miltank super effectively, and I had really no other coverage needed on the team. Like, everything else on his draft could get hit by Shadow Ball or Flamethrower. I could have packed Energy Ball for, like, Rhydon, but then I wouldn't be hitting Miltank, and this hits both of those too, so that's what I decided to go with to try out. I don't think I'll ever be clicking it, but if I need to, I have it. Yeah, that's kind of pretty much our team. Like, it's kind of set up around Latias doing a lot of damage, Lando T doing a lot of pivoting early and then being able to set up and do a lot of damage, and then Mega Kang, if I get a good chance to get Substitute up, Mega Kang might be the star in this. So with him bringing in, like, the Skuntank, the Gourgeist, the Kieran Black, the Mega Scizor, the Tapu Fini, and the Moltres, I was kind of uncertain what his Mega Kang check was gonna be. It looked like it was gonna be what was it, Gorgeist? Like, he would bringing that in on any, like, regular normal spam stuff, and hope I don't have Fire Punch, or hope I don't have, like, Crunch or something, and be the Rocky Helmet, like, big Gorgeist, and then be able to Willow me. So that was, like, the options, like, okay, if he brings the Gorgeist on me, and I find out, like, hey, it's Rocky Helmet, I can quick sub on it if I need to, or if he brings it in and I quick sub on him bringing it in, then this thing literally, unless it has Grass Stab, it probably cannot touch me, which is really nice for me. Finny was another one that was a possible Rocky Helmet mon. I was like, it could be. The Moltres, seeing that, I wasn't very scared of it. It was just like I didn't know what more it could be besides like maybe a Life Orb Hurricane Moltres or like a Scarf Moltres to outspeed our Chandelure, our Scarf Chandelure stuffs. Like, it would have been stuff like that I kind of expect for Moltres. Skunk Tank was actually a huge problem for the team that I had, especially as I was trying to build it around Latias winning. Just being able to do the most damage to everything. If that Skunk Tank was still alive, Laddie could get Pursuit Traps so easy, and so could Chandelure. So I really had to play around that. But without any further ado, we'll just get right on into the battle. Okay guys, we're getting challenged by Rogue here in our game and everything like that. As you saw from the preview, I decided to lead Rotom. As against what I saw for his team, I could either click any 3 of my moves and be perfectly fine, and he led with his Skunk Tank, so I was like, okay, I want to burn this thing turn 1 if I can, to weaken Pursuits, weaken Knockoffs, weaken Sucker Punches, and we do land the Willow. And stuff like that. We did have to, we DC'd once, but we were able to get all the hacks and stuff the same way. On the retry, and I'll tell you, this Willow was one of those. But you can see that Pursue from a burned Skunk Tank does nothing, and which is super nice that does absolutely fuck all. But here I really didn't need to have Rotom stay in. I thought he might switch out, so I was going to Volt Switch, try to get a little bit of initiative on him, and he pursued it a second time. And I didn't realize that Pursuit worked with Volt Switch. I didn't know that counted for it, but either way, we still took damn near no damage. And I go into Lando T pretty free and clear here. I really don't fear anything from this. If it has an HP Ice, it'd be like really funny and cool, but he's risking me just KOing him straight up with Earthquake here. So I didn't think at this point he was going to try to pull that cool tech to risk it. So he decides to switch out, which I kind of expected, and he goes into his Gourgeist. And the Gourgeist, as you can see, is not like the big form Gourgeist, it's the normal form, and that was something that he told me after was a misgen either on his part. Something got mixed up, and it was supposed to be the super Gourgeist, but what can you do? It's the things that happen. But I did U-turn here on it, seeing if I get more initiative and get into my Chandelure here. I threaten this thing 2 ways with both my stabs, and he may have Shadow Sneak, but it's not going to kill me at all, and I could threaten to kill with a Fire Blast on this. So I decided, I'm thinking he's going to swap, so I'm going to pull a double out. I'm going to pull a double back into Rotom. As if he does decide to do anything weird, I can be okay with the Rotom and Volt Switch out, but he does switch out into the Skunk Tank again. This is the thing I was talking about with Skunk Tank earlier, is that whenever Chandelure and Latias are in, it's kind of a free bring-in for Skunk Tank. And so I wanted to see if I could play around that early. And I got Rotom back in here against the Skunk Tank. I know from this range a Hydro Pump will kill it. So I decided to just stay in and do that and go for the Hydro Pump as he swaps out, so going into his Kieran Black. And guys, well, Kieran Black is a mon that I forget a lot of shit about. Like, I just completely forget that Terravolt is like Mold Breaker and stuff like that. But I decided to just Hydro Pump here. This is one of the things I went for the recreation that I hit as well. So we're lucky that it all hit him the second time. With the U-turn, it was the U-turn crit as well from Lando. All of that wasn't the first time. It was so weird. But he does just go right for the Earth Power. This is what I meant. I was like, I forget that this will hit Rotom. I just completely spaced that it would actually hit him. So I decided to stay in and Volt Switch. I didn't think he was going to do anything cool to me, and I didn't want to give him like a free sub or anything like that. So I was just stayed in, I took the Earth Power. What can you do? But here I go into Latias as I threaten this thing pretty much every time unless it's Scarf. And I decided to scout the Scarf and doubled back out going into Ferrothorn this time to see if he would either switch out on the Earth Power or if he would try to stay in and do switch moves on me. He does end up switching out and going into the Finny. And here I'm like, okay, I actually don't have the worst matchup in the world here. I don't mind just knocking off on the Finny. It's not going to do dick all for damage, but I don't mind getting its item gone. And here he decides to switch into his Moltres, showing me that it was a little more offensive, and I do actually get the knockoff, and I actually remove a Rocky Helmet from the Moltres, which I was very surprised of in game. I was like, is he defensive Moltres with Rocky Helmet? Is this his Kang answer? And here I decided to stay in. I tried to like be like, okay, I'm making a lot of plays, pretty reading, like predictive plays here. I think Rogue might overpredict and not quick fire move. And so he did U-turn here, and now he's forced to switch into something else, picking his Mega Scizor as I went for my Stealth Rocks to get those up. I just decided, like, if I lose Pharaoh, I thought I could live one Flamethrower from it, if it was a defensive one especially. So I just felt like it was an okay play to make there. And I do switch out here into Lando's. I could just intimidate this thing and really not give a fuck about what this Mega Scizor is going to be able to do to me. Like, I really don't care. He does go for the Mega Evolving and stuff. I thinking back to that Pharaoh play, it was probably a little risky. It was probably pretty risky, but I just kind of felt like I was making so many plays earlier on that maybe he would overpredict me, and he does go for the knockoff here on my Z Crystalmon, which is really nice. It doesn't fucking matter, and he does switch out with the Mega Scizor, showing me he probably can't touch me with anything, and he goes into the Gourgeist, and here I just clicked Earthquake. I felt it was a pretty safe move to click. He didn't have anything besides Moltres that would be immune to it, and I don't see him bringing Moltres in on Lando T. Like, this doesn't seem to be a thing. And we can see like it takes him down just under half, and then leftovers bring him back up. But here I was like, you know what? I don't have to waste Z-Fly on this. I can save that for later if I need to. I'm just going to get a regular Fly kill. Whatever he brings in on this is going to get hit with it, and then could probably be followed up... Probably followed up by either a Z-Fly or an Earthquake to kill. He stayed into Willow. I mean, that's okay. I don't know what else to do there, but he just kind of let this thing come in, let it die, as it really wasn't doing much against me, just probably because it was the wrong form. That's probably the main reason why. But we got a regular Fly kill, so what can you do? He brought in Finny against me, and knowing speed tiers, which I know Rogue does, he should know that I'm creeping this, and I should outspeed this. And I probably can, if not one-shot him with Z-Fly, do a pretty hardy amount. So my guess here is that he's Scarfed Finny, and I decided to go into Ferrothorn. And he goes right for the Surf, which like really does tell me, like, okay, he must have been Scarfed Finny to bring it in against me and try to, you know, pick off Lando. Must be. So I'm thinking here, okay, I'm not going to stay in. I'm going to pull an aggressive switch out and switch into Chandelure, which would have sucked if he quick Surf again. But if he is Scarf and he knows that it does nothing, he's going to swap out and see what happens. He actually swaps over to the Hidden Power Fire, and we can see that this thing, 1, is not Scarfed, and 2, is packing HP Fire. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go right back into Ferrothorn. I know he's not going to click the HP Fire again. He might switch out here, and he does, in fact, switch out with the Finny. I'm really glad we found out that Finny was not Scarfed or anything like that. It was still offensive, but just not Scarfed, which is the biggest deal. And again, here comes the Skunk Tank, and whenever Chandelure or Latias would be coming in. So that's what I had to keep playing around as well. And here with it, the Skunk Tank's getting slowly worn down. It really can't do anything to me. I'm seeing this as an opportunity. It can't Toxic me due to the terrain. So I'm going to bring in Kang here. And you can see like he decides to defog the rocks away, which I'm like, okay, that they were mainly for just wearing down in general. But everything's been chipped to somewhat, so that's fine. And with the terrain up, he couldn't have Toxic me on a way coming in or anything like that, so I felt like it was a pretty free switch in here for Kang, and I decided, like, okay, this thing can't do anything. It's not going to break my sub at all with any move it clicks. If it clicks Sucker Punch, it'll hit me before the sub's up, so, actually it won't even hit me with sub, now I think about it. I forgot that little tidbit of information, but I decided to quick Substitute here, because this was a pretty free fucking time to quick Substitute. And we can see he goes for Taunt. And I remember him talking about it afterwards, like he didn't really know why he clicked Taunt, he just kind of did. And Taunt goes through sub, but I have 3 attacking moves that I was going to be clicking anyway after sub, so it really didn't matter. I got a pretty free sub of anything here. But like he does decide to switch out here with the Ferrothorn, or not Ferrothorn, with the Skunk Tank. And going into his Moltres, which I actually just click return on. And we can see, due to the return damage, because I was max happiness, I made sure of that shit, that this is, in fact, a defensive Moltres, which was really interesting. A defensive Rocky Helmet Moltres, and I found out later, as we'll see, this next return will kill. I will outspeed this thing no matter what. But I found out later, this Moltres was actually Flame Body as well, so it was Rocky Helmet Flame Body. Really cool tech to bring for a Mega Kang. I don't know if it would have procced through a sub or not, That was one thing neither one of us really knew. So if it didn't, then that's a real cool thing that we can learn. If it did, then I got kind of lucky that on 3 hits it didn't proc. But he does go for the bullet punch with the Mega Scizor, and it will take out my sub. It was like I could have subbed up here again, but there was no point. I was just going to go for the fire punch and see if I could kill him, because in some of the mocks I could just straight up one-shot Mega Scizor, and he actually does end up living it. I don't know if it was a rolls at all, or probably was just the investment, but again, he lives it, it's fine. And here he goes for his bullet punch again. I thought about subbing after bullet punch, but as we see from the damage, I would have been dropped around 70 or 25%. And I could have just, like I did here, I just fire punch to get a kill and keep me above 50%. If he doesn't bullet punch and I sub, he could break it with any attacking move anyway, so it really didn't matter. And he brings in the Tapu Fini, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna click return and do a hell of a lot of damage. Surf from an offensive Fini that doesn't seemingly have like a life orb or anything like that. We've not seen it. Doesn't kill me from here. He needed like I think he needed the max roll from a modest Fini to kill me, and I think he was timid, so it wasn't going to kill me at all with this surf. And we do end up living it on 9. It was close, but we still lived it. And here I'm just able to quick return again, and Mega Kangaskhan's going to claim 3 kills right now, which is extremely good. Like, I'm really glad this was a battle where Mega Kang could kind of like shine. But he does bring in the Skunk Tank here, and I'm like, okay, he probably has Sucker Punch to kill me. Like, that's probably what's going to happen. Doesn't happen. He goes right. I decided to go for the Drain Punch. I want to get some health back anyway, and I think it had maybe a chance to like crit kill or something like that, and I ended up getting my health back. I was really surprised. Like, maybe he doesn't have Sucker Punch. Maybe he can only hit me with Pursuit, and maybe Mega Kang just fucking wins this game. It was like a weird thing. Like, maybe I just pull it out and just fucking win. But like, he does the Pursuit damage. With Burn, Pursuit damage does literal fuck all. That burn first turn really helped in that respect, and he actually does have Sucker Punch, so here he decided to go for Sucker Punch. Afterwards, he told me that he went for Pursuit just in case I tried to like preserve differential, and I was like, no, I'm giving the Mega Kang the sweep here if I could. Like, I was going to get health back, I should be in range, yeah, it was going to be enough to where I could kill the Kyurem, and then Aftermath happened, so totally forgot that Aftermath was a fucking ability, and he ended up getting the kill with Skunk Tank, stopping the Mega Kang there with Aftermath. It was really kind of funny. I could have gone right into Latias here and given Latias a kill, but I was still unsure at this point whether this Kyurem was, I believe, Scarf or not. I don't think I saw an item on this Kyurem yet. I don't remember if I did or not. I don't remember now. But he does go for the HP Fire. We do have our Akaberry on Ferrothorn, and we do end up living that pretty comfortably. Pretty fucking comfortably. And I must have saw the Life Orb then. I see it now. I must have saw it earlier in the game. But I just go for the Iron Head, and the Iron Head ended up picking up a kill. So, Ferrothorn got the last kill instead of Fini, or instead of Latias. What can you do? But I think I just went into Ferro because I was like, you know what, I could bring in Latias, but, you know, why not I go into Ferrothorn. It's a safe thing. I can see if he has HP Fire. I don't know. It was a point where I could pick up, I think almost any of 4 of the last 5 Mons I had, and could still pick up the kill on the Kyurem. The only one that probably couldn't would be Lando, just because of my speed compared to him probably being max speed. But either way, it was still a good battle, I feel like, for Rogue. He brought the real spice, being that Rocky Helmet, Flame Body, Moltres. I still have no idea if the Flame Body would have procced through sub. If you know, let me know down in the comment section below. Like, literally, you can put a fucking replay link down there if you wanted to. I don't know if YouTube's going to be all pissy about that. But put a replay link of it working, and let me see, because that's some interesting knowledge that I've never known. But yeah, that's our week 4 game. Next week we're gonna be facing Juan of the something Permarinas. I don't know how to fucking say it. I'll probably ask Juan after this game because I have no idea how to fucking say it. But we'll be facing off against him and everything for week 5. We're doing pretty well now. We got 2 wins under our belts against one really hard matchup in Rogue. Like, this matchup sucked for us, and then the game against David was a lot more of like, David can probably outplay me in his fucking sleep, but we ended up pulling it out. So we got 2 big wins. Hopefully gonna keep the streak alive and keep going with it, but thank you guys for coming out. I'm Carson, this is Toxic Gaming. As always, you guys stay toxic. We'll see you guys.